Over to you, Teresa and Ms. Balu.
Thank you, Kia, for the presentation. Yeah, I just want to let attendees know that we will be sharing this PowerPoint presentation to all the people who registered. So they will have all this information when they need it. So we have some questions. So that we are going to do is maybe if people want to ask the question themselves, or do they want us to moderate? Let me find out. Because somebody, Risha, can you just give on chat that you would like to ask the question, or you want me to ask it for you? Risha? Okay, maybe. Okay. So she's asking, how does SheTrades assist with connecting entrepreneurs with funding or grant providers and investors?
We have a number. Well, thank you very much, firstly, for your great question. As I mentioned, we have a lot of different projects that work in different areas. One of them in investment and financing. So that's our SheTrades Invest project. And I will share these links with you after the presentation so you can gather more information there as well. But basically, SheTrades works to connect women entrepreneurs to financiers through publications, through the business support organizations that we work with in the countries where we operate. As well, we do a series of webinars and coffee mornings where you can meet with investors to better understand what they're looking for, who they're investing in, the administrative, paperwork, or things that you need to have in order to access that funding. We provide all of those resources to the women entrepreneurs who are in our networks, and these are available on SheTrades.com as well. We have a series of calls that open where you can attend trainings and be able to interact and speak with financiers as well. So I would recommend that you have a look at SheTrades.com, and particularly SheTrades Invest, which is the program focusing on financing for women-owned businesses.
Okay. Also, I want to let everyone know, if you want to ask questions, please raise your hand. If you want us to, moderate the question and ask to Kia, please type in. So, Shobita, do you want to ask, or you want me to ask? Can you put it in chat or raise your hand?
Hi, Kia. It was such a pleasure to listen about this whole initiative, which is very new to me, and I'm really grateful actually that Andal has been pushing this, because otherwise I think I would never have realized that this is even in existence. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm just curious, because you mentioned that Maersk is on your panel to provide some advice. So how exactly would this work? I mean, are there like representatives that we can approach through some sort of forum who would be able to give us advice on logistics? And similarly, if we are on a learning curve on importing and without necessarily having the means to engage a import agent yet, would this also be handled in the same way through some sort of logistics advice from the guys at Maersk?
Well, it really does depend, Shabita. So firstly, thank you very much for your question. Our partners collaborate with us in different ways. So some of them are project collaborators, and they work with us on delivering projects in the different countries where SheTrades works. For example, UPS, they work in a number of countries, including India, Mexico, and Nigeria. And some of them collaborate with us via e-learning resources, and that's how Maersk has been working with us. Last year, they did an online coaching program where some of the Maersk colleagues and experts were actually coaching some of our SheTrades members one-to-one in a virtual learning sort of capacity. So this is one way that you could get that advice that you mentioned one-to-one with a colleague or expert from Maersk. But in the event that so that was a program that started and ended last year. And programs like this are are happening each year with different partners at different times. So it is really important to see what's coming up to apply if you are a women entrepreneur interested in gaining one-on-one time with these partners. Or the other option is to tune in to some of our webinars. So we have a series of webinars that have been done in a similar fashion to today with Maersk and or other partners, where they deep dive into some of the issues or logistics challenges that face small businesses. And these are available on SheTrades.com. The recordings from when we did the live webinars, and you can access these at any time, to see what sort of advice is available to you there. As well, you can reach out to SheTrades.com directly for the emails that we provided. And if there is a colleague who can connect you to someone, that's another option as well.
Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot for clarifying here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the next question is, Risha is asking, are there entrepreneurs in specific regions who have greater advantages or who are being encouraged more than others to trade?
I think that I could say that predominantly our projects are focused on women entrepreneurs in developing regions, and that tends to be our focus area. We do believe that there are barriers to trade for women around the world, but of course we focused our efforts on specific countries at the moment where we either have capacity on the ground. For example, we have SheTrades colleagues working in these countries, or we have hubs which are working closely in collaboration with governments on the ground as well to support their women entrepreneurs. But ultimately, we do see that there are barriers, everywhere, and more can be done. Ultimately, more can be done to help these women around the world. So I hope that answers your question.
Here, you said some country example, like we have people from France, India, Philippines. Do you have any specific programs that you can give an example for them to understand more?
I think, for example, if we look at the Philippines and all, there is a SheTrades hub present in the Philippines, working directly with the government there, and they are catering to the women entrepreneurs in the country directly. And so I would recommend for listeners today and women entrepreneurs who are in one of the places where we have a hub, just to connect with these hubs. I think it will be a resource to you as well. The governments supporting the SheTrades hubs have on the ground knowledge, to better support these women entrepreneurs. And I think, the Philippines is one, South Africa is another one where we have a hub there. We have a new hub in Uruguay. Trinidad and Tobago is another place where we have a hub. And these hubs they have ongoing activities, webinars, information sessions, and there is a wide variety of projects as well that have open calls. Some are open, some are closed. I would say that to be in the know with what's coming up and projects that are coming up is to definitely follow SheTrades social media. So that's where we announce calls for new projects launching. For example, if we have capacity training coming up in specific countries, that's where we'd advertise it along with SheTrades.com. So I think this is the best place, I'd say, for information as to what projects are available and what you can apply for. So those are my two recommendations would be to check if there is a SheTrades hub in your area, because they will definitely be doing trainings, activities, and so on in the country, and as well as to visit SheTrades.com and to follow our social media.
So, do they have the SheTrade access in Davao City, or is there any specific website they can go and look at?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Okay. Is the SheTrades program or the hub, is it available or accessible in Davao City, or do you have any specific part, like when you go to SheTrades, how do you find about the hub? Or do
Mhm.
you have any specific thing that you can put in the chat, or you can talk about it? How they
Yes,
find out?
I can definitely put a link in the chat. Let me do that. So we do have dedicated pages to the hubs and some of the projects. So I would recommend our viewers today to check out shetrades.com if you can. I'll put it in the chat here. It's available in English, French, and Spanish. And you can also find out more information about the hubs on shetrades.com as well. And I'll share these links with you as well, and after this presentation. Another thing that I had mentioned is that there is also, in addition to the webinars and the e-learning courses, there are a number of guides, toolkits, and publications that are available to download from our website that are really, really helpful resources. One of the recent publications that we have published is Raising Finances for Your Business. So I know there was a question that came up early on about accessing finance and what tools are available to women entrepreneurs who are trying to access finance. And I would recommend that they have a look at this guide. It's really, really very helpful. It breaks it down, interacting with banks, what are they looking for, understanding, what's required. I really would recommend that as a resource to some of the listeners today, and I will share that as well with you.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. See, at the end of this webinar, after a couple of days, we will be uploading the webinar video on our YouTube, and we will give
Okay.
access to all the participants. And also, I encourage all the women and all the participants today, please spread it to your community, to the other women, because it doesn't have to be the chocopreneurs. This is open to any woman in any
Exactly.
business anywhere in the world. So please spread the news so everybody can benefit together. And now, Risha, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, morning. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and
Hi, Risha.
I don't I don't know if maybe one of our government ministries is a hub because I've seen them advertising for SheTrades. What I wanted to find out is if each hub has the freedom to state stipulations to get assistance, funding, etc., or if SheTrades has that criteria to get assistance, because I'm a startup and I know sometimes organizations are very cautious to assist or fund startups as opposed to 3 years financial statements, etc. So I just wanted to find out, from a startup perspective, what is my situation, or what.
Totally. Well, thank you so much, Risha, for your question. It's a really, really great question. The hubs are ultimately run by government agencies, so you're definitely right. The hubs are wholly run by government agencies who manage the processes. They manage the stipulations that you've mentioned, and so I would recommend that getting in touch with them directly would be your best option to find out the details, as they are specific, as you've mentioned. And I would be happy to provide information with contacts at the Trinidad and Tobago Hub who may be able to provide more information to you. And that's what they're there for. They're there to support, women entrepreneurs from Trinidad and Tobago, bearing in mind the local context and some of the specific criteria that you may have or specific needs that you may have as a startup. So I think that they would be your best point of call, and I will be happy to share their details with you.
Thanks much.
Okay, Shobita, you can ask your question.
Yep. So I'm just curious, Kia, you mentioned that there are mentorship elements as part of SheTrades. I was wondering whether you could tell us a little bit more about that and how it works.
Yeah, so different projects have mentorship components, Shabita. So it is really dependent on the project and the structure of these projects. Some include a capacity building element and training. Some involve one-to-one coaching and mentorship, either in collaboration with a corporate partner or with other partners based in the country where the project is operating. And these will involve, for example, in one of our projects, women working in textiles had, direct contact with someone who is an expert in the fashion industry and the textiles industry, who is able to provide that contextual knowledge to guide them along their way, navigating the fashion industry in their specific country. So these are examples. Another example would be via the SheTrades Learning Hub. Soon to come will be our coaching element available online that will be open to SheTrades members as well, to gain that mentorship and coaching from experts in different sectors. So these are some examples. They are project specific. So it would be, wise for you to check the details of the projects, what they involve, if it's capacity building, training, if there is a mentorship component for women entrepreneurs, because these are very, very specific to the different projects.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If I could just add a point, it would be to add on to Andal's message earlier about, SheTrades being an asset and available to all women entrepreneurs across sectors. I think that's a really, really important point. We do work in agribusiness, we do work in textiles and IT, the IT sectors, but ultimately, the goal, as I mentioned earlier, is to connect 3 million women to markets, and we really want to help as many women as possible. So sharing, SheTrades far and wide with your networks on social media. If you know about a women entrepreneur who may benefit from some of these projects, from some of these resources, from the e-learning, activities, please do share this material with as many people as you can. I think that it's a free resource. It's available to support, to connect women to markets, to grow their businesses, to develop their professional skills and abilities. And I think the more women who have access to it, the better. So if that is something that I would ask of the listeners today, is to definitely share this far and wide.
Trying to see if anyone else has any questions.
I do, yes. Hi. Okay, so thank you so much for what you shared. I'm a little bit overwhelmed with all the information when I think about the obstacles as a woman entrepreneur. When you listed those obstacles worldwide, that was very eye-opening for me. But as a woman entrepreneur, if I'm just getting started out, or it sounds like there's so many benefits, so many things available. What would be my first, so that I don't get too overwhelmed, what would be the first thing that you would recommend that I do? Whether it be go to the website, and I've seen the website, and even that's a little overwhelming. Actually, maybe my question is there individual mentorship to direct me to what resources are right for whatever it is, whatever level it is I am in business, whether I've just started, whether I'm in business and I need funding. Is there someone to sort of hold my hand and point me to the right resources?
I think yes. I thank you so much, Teresa, for the question. And I think ultimately it is overwhelming, and there is a lot of barriers, as you mentioned, and there's also a lot of information out there. And I'd say, as a first point of call would be to find a community. And I think that's what SheTrades is ultimately is a community of other women entrepreneurs who may be struggling with the same sorts of questions, who may be finding their way. And this is somewhere that you can ask these questions. You can ask questions on our social media. We do have women who write directly to us on Facebook asking questions. We have women who write to us at womenintrade@intracenter.org who are, as you just described, looking for some direction. Where can they begin? If you are based in a hub, or if you have the benefit of being in a country where there's a SheTrades hub, I would say definitely that is your first point of call, is to get in touch with your hub, as they're there for this very reason, to direct you, to connect you to the resources that could best help you depending on where you're at. So, to kind of summarize, I would say one is to find your network. And I say that SheTrades is a pretty good network for women entrepreneurs. So, follow us on our social media. We have women who are asking questions there. Join SheTrades.com. As I mentioned in the presentation, we have forums where you can post your question and have it answered by other women entrepreneurs or experts on the platform. You can connect with so many other people who are in a similar situation to yourself. So I would say that's the first step you can take. And a lot of our resources are really they're really helpful. They're really easy to understand and user friendly. We have guides that I've read myself, and I learned so much as well. So I think that to not be afraid to reach out directly to us, to email us, and as well to reach out over social media. They're more than welcome to do that.
Okay, I saw in your presentation that the UPS is, partnering with the India project of
Yes.
human trades. We are a big fan of UPS in Cocotown. We have been using them from 1994. And recently, I had an opportunity to be part of the Women Export University program in city of Atlanta. That's how I knew about SheTrades, and then we thought this will be a great addition for our customers. That's why we talked to you and then gave this. So can you elaborate a little bit on how UPS and what kind of programs they are doing? Because you said the hub is with the government, but when is UPS is doing in India, what kind of programs they are doing, and if anybody wants to access them, how do they do it?
Definitely, yes. So UPS is one of our great partners, and they're working, in specific countries like, for example, India, Mexico, and Nigeria. And it's very specific. They'll focus on a specific sector depending on the country that they're working on, and they'll have live calls for women entrepreneurs to join the project. And I will actually share a link here to the SheTrades and UPS project, where the visitors can get more information. So I'm just pulling up that link to share it here. And as you can imagine, UPS is a trusted logistics partner, and that's ultimately where they're focusing on building skills and capacity in our women entrepreneurs, is helping them through this process of exporting and accessing global markets. And that's their strong suit, and that's where they're working with the women in our hubs and in the countries where the UPS project is active. So I would recommend that listeners and listeners today visit the SheTrades and UPS project page to see, what calls are live and where they can take part. We also have quite a few collaborative e-learning courses that are delivered together with UPS. And these are on a range of topics, from customer experience to packaging, to understanding logistics. They're really, really great resources that have been delivered together with UPS. And so I would recommend that viewers or listeners today access some of those resources as well, as they're very, very, very helpful.
Thank you, Kia.
Thanks, Nata.
Anyone else have any other questions? I think everybody is trying to absorb all the information.
Yes, I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of information, but I think the key takeaways from today and from the presentation is to understand and to be aware that the SheTrades initiative exists. It's there to support women entrepreneurs around the world to access global markets, to tap into global markets, to begin exporting around the world and growing their businesses ultimately. And SheTrades.com exists to support women to do that. It's an online platform where they can, set up their company profile, they can market their goods, they can connect to buyers, they can connect to other women entrepreneurs, they can connect to partners and also tap into free resources to help them on their way. And these are learning resources such as webinars that can help you on understanding e-commerce, how to put your business online, how to market your products online, as well as financing for your business. Some of the questions we had today was about accessing finance as a small business. These are some of the resources that are available to you free of charge, and you have a community, I guess, that's there for you to support you on your way. And we would love it if women entrepreneurs can access these resources and share them with their networks. And yeah, that's I think the key messages for today. And so I'd be very, very happy to share, all the links to SheTrades.com, to our projects, to some of the resources, and of course, where contacts where you can reach us directly.
Thank you, Tia. So, I don't see anyone else raise their hand. Teresa, do you have any other question?
I do have one question. As a support professional myself for a women-owned business, are the educational resources available to me as well? I'm not a woman in business, but I'm a support professional for a woman in business.
Definitely, yes. And this is, I guess, another key point. So thank you so much, Teresa. It's, the resources and the e-learning material, the events, they're available to women entrepreneurs, but we also work with a lot of business support organizations, associations, women's business associations, in all the countries where we have projects, and they are the cornerstone to helping a lot of these women. And so, of course, the resources are available to them as well, and available to them to share with their networks and to share these resources, to use them. That's exactly what they're there for. So I think that you as well, I hope that you log on to SheTrades.com, create a profile, access all this learning material. And, it's through that you may come across a webinar that you think, wow, this can really help this woman entrepreneur that I know of who's asked me a question, like this is the resource for them, and be able to share that on. So I think definitely this is for you as well.
I think
great, thank you.
Yeah, I think this answers also Janice's question, because she was earlier just commented that she's not the owner, but she's working as a manager, quality control manager.
Mm-hmm.
So she can also access as an employee of
Yes, definitely. She can access this. I mean, women working, people, men and women working with women-owned businesses who want to get involved. There are men on the platform as well. It's not only women. We have men, we have women on the platform. We have women entrepreneurs on the platform. We have business support organizations and partners as well, corporate partners who may join the platform because they're interested in buying from women entrepreneurs or diversifying their supply chain. So, this is also for them as well to see who's out there, what's out there in terms of products. So I really think that, this is there's a wide target group. Ultimately, it is a resource for women entrepreneurs. But I think that the more diverse the users of SheTrades.com, the more rich the learning experience, the sharing. It's absolutely essential if we have different people on there as well. So it's definitely open to them as well.
Okay, I think nobody else has any other question. We are right on time, almost 11 o'clock. So
I'm happy to take more questions. If you do receive more after the presentation, and you have my email, so please just forward them on to me. I'd be very, very happy to share more information. And as I said, I will be sharing all the resources and the links that I mentioned today with you, for anyone who might be interested in accessing this.
yeah, so I want to remind all the participants and the people who registered that you still have time to send your questions, and then you can send us an email. We will forward it to Kia, and the answers will go on a FAQ section. We will be sending it to you, and also will go on a FAQ section on our website, so you can go and refer. So thank you all. We want to thank our employees, Teresa, she has worked hard, and Raghavendra in India, who does the background support for all these webinars, to our families, to our customers, and Kia, for you, for taking time in middle of your busy schedule, and all the participants who are, sacrificing their sleep and everything, coming to time zones on a Saturday. Thank you all. Loka samasta sukhi.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me today. It was an absolute delight to talk about SheTrades, and I'm really, really happy to connect with you all. So thank you to Coco Town and to you, Andal, for giving me this opportunity today. So thank you very much. Thank you to Teresa as well.
Thank you all. Have a rest of the day, and then have a good weekend. Stay safe.
You too. Thanks so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.